If the universe has been trying to get your attention lately, this episode might explain why. This is Built for Love, where we explore self awareness, growth, and real transformation. Because love isn't something we chase, it's something we're built for. Hey there, you beautiful souls, and welcome back to the Energy Forecast. I'm your host, Javier Ortega. If you're back for another month, welcome home. And if this is your first time joining us, you picked a pretty incredible month to start. Around here, we like to think of astrology and tarot as less about predicting your life and more about helping you move through it with a little more clarity, a little more intention, and hopefully a little more grace. Joining me as always are professional astrologer Regina Mirando and professional tarot reader Eddie Valdovinos, who somehow managed to keep me spiritually humble every single month. Now, before we jump into August, I owe you all a little apology. We actually recorded our July forecast, but between my birthday month, Mercury in retrograde reminding all of us to slow down, and honestly, life just lifing, I wasn't able to get it edited out in time. So to my beautiful Cancer family, happy belated birthday. Your season was all about emotional healing, reconnecting with yourself, and closing old chapters, which personally I found myself living that message more than I expected. July became a month of transformation for me, and I'm still navigating some of that today. But I'm excited to be back because August feels different. Leo season is inviting us to shine, Virgo season is preparing us to refine, and this month feels like it's asking all of us one simple question. Where are you finally ready to let yourself shine? So let's find out. Our first main character this month, Leos. Regina, what does August have in store for our Leos?
Well, it's definitely Leo season for sure. We just had a solar eclipse in Leo, and we also have Jupiter. Remember, Jupiter's in Leo for a long time, for at least, this year. And we are right now on the 13th, Venus will be trining Mercury and also sextiling Jupiter. So basically, it's just a really good time for Leos in relationships and communication and being like in abundance. Like this is just energy is coming their way. It's like a shower of abundance, and being Leos the way they are, it's just perfect. It's really good energy. They're going to have more easier time to communicate, easier in relationships, considering last month was kind of difficult in that arena and communicating. Now it's just going to flow so much easier. But it really is a time, whenever there's an eclipse season, it's really a time to really ask yourself, what do you want? And what do you want in a relationship? What does that look like? And then as we head into Virgo, there's a lot going on for Virgos too, with the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse. And, so Leos are having a really good time. I think that this, not only is it Leo season, it's just their time to shine, and anyone who has either Leos in their life or fire signs, they're going to have a really easy time communicating and going with the flow. Just easier relationships in general.
I love that. And absolutely, I couldn't agree even more. The cards are kind of winking, I think, right now at Leos because first and foremost, you have the Queen of Swords. Absolutely. Those communication pathways are going to be a lot more open for you, Leos. You're going to have so much more fruitfulness and abundance and a lot more directness of a form of communication this month. So good for you, right? So remember to stay really, have that integrity with yourselves when it comes to your words and your ideas, and remember that your ideas are valid and your communication is fully valid. Okay, with that though, we have the Tower. So it's not a scary card, don't worry. It's not anything that's going to it doesn't have to be something that completely turns your life upside down. What it can mean though for you Leos is you're going to have a slight nudge. You're going to have a something that kind of ripples the waters a little bit to help you progress in this sort of like transformation that you're supposed to be going through currently at the moment. Okay, and it might not be a full-on transformation that's like a 180, but it's going to be a catalyst to help you continue to live in your truth and be completely authentic to yourself this month, Leo. So really, really great pivotal things happening for you this month.
And now our second main character of the month, Virgos. I know you probably already organized your planner through October, but before you color code the rest of your life, let's hear what the universe has to say first. Regina, what does August have in store for our Virgos?
Well, at the beginning of the month, we had Venus in Virgo. And remember, Venus rules our relationships. So there was a lot of perhaps like overthinking and overanalyzing in your relationships. But then towards the end of the month, we do have a lunar eclipse in Pisces, and then goes the sun goes into Virgo, and so does Mercury. So the end of the month is going to feel more comfortable for Virgos than the beginning of the month. And I think it's about being more assertive and being more, planning and organizing, but try not to be too nitpicky with your friends and your relationships, because sometimes Virgos, they come across as critical, and that's not their intention to be critical. They're just trying to help. In their mind, they're like, I'm trying to help you get everything organized, because don't we all need organization, and so it's great for Virgos as far as they're feeling in their zone, right? But for other people, maybe their friends or family might, feel differently if it's too nitpicky and too critical. That would be the only thing. But the full moon in Pisces will definitely help Virgos, whether they like it or not, be in touch with their emotions, and get more of what they're, let go a little bit of that organization. You can't plan everything. You can't break everything down. Sometimes you just have to be in your feelings. And that's what the lunar eclipse is going to help Virgos like surrender to that a little bit.
That fully makes sense. As somebody who has not only their rising but their moon in Virgo, and I'm a Pisces, that fully resonates. With that, we have the Knight of Pentacles and we have the Six of Pentacles. So strong Earth sign energy here. With the Knight of Pentacles, this month you're going to be reminded to. I think when it comes to your finances, that's coming in as well. Go ahead and remember to be grounded, if for lack of a better term, when it comes to your finances. So maybe don't blow the bank. Maybe don't go on this crazy spree where you're just sort of like spending tons and tons and kind of indulging in that sense. Have a bit more of a sound mind when it comes to that. It could be your finances, or it could be your earthly resources, like your time, even maybe in your relationships. Okay, and with the Six of Pentacles, that really resonates with what Regina was saying, because this card is not just about giving of your resources and your time and maybe your finances, but it can also be about receiving, which definitely checks in with what Regina was saying, which is don't be so nitpicky when it comes to what you're giving and what you're receiving from your loved ones and the people around you. Okay, be a bit more of a flow sort of energy. Have that sort of system of operating this month, and allow things to come and go from the right place and the right intention for you this month.
All right, so Leo and Virgo have officially had their main character moments. Now it's time for our lightning round. Let's keep this cosmic train moving. Regina, who's up next?
We have Libra. And Libra, well, their Venus is home in Libra right now, and it went into Libra on the 6th. So it's a very happy place. The solar eclipse was on the 12th in Leo, which is a sextile to Libras, and so they're having a good old time. Also, Jupiter being in Leo is sextiling Venus in Libra, so it's a really like fun for meeting people, for just being in social groups. You know, again, Saturn is always in Aries, so that's the opposite of Libra. So that's a theme going to be for Libra for like 2 years of like really getting in touch with their deeper meaning of what they want in relationships. But with Venus in Libra opposing Saturn, it's going to be about they're not going to be able to be in like a superficial state of mind in their relationships. Like it's fun and all, but in the end, they still want some deeper meaning behind it. And that's going to be their theme for a good couple years. But right now, they're having a good time with Venus and Libra.
All right, Libras. You have the Eight of Cups here, and you have the Page of Swords. With the Eight of Cups, this is symbolizing you simply not having time for something any longer, something that's not fulfilling you emotionally. You're gonna make that decision to walk away from it this month. So don't shy away from that, okay? Also, what's coming to mind is sort of keep your plans hidden until you've kind of fulfilled them, okay? So maybe don't go in there or don't go out there and maybe proclaim what you're planning to everybody. Keep it internal. Do your own inner work, and if it's time to walk away from something, simply do it. With the Page of Swords here, there's going to be something this month, or maybe even a person this month, that I think it's a new person that's going to come in, is going to give you some kind of news. They're going to give you some kind of conversation. I'm getting that it's going to be like an opener of intellect and conversations. You might connect with somebody whose mind you're really attracted to. You might connect with somebody who has this way of speaking, or you might just connect with someone that's going to bring you this new sort of way of thinking, and something's going to kind of tick mentally. So look forward for that this month.
Alrighty, Libras, there you go. Scorpios, you've been quietly observing this entire episode. Now it's your turn. Regina, give it to us for Scorpios.
Well, Scorpios were having, I think their solar eclipse was a little rough because Scorpio and Leo square one another. So it will provide more opportunities in far as what they want in the public standing wise. But the lunar eclipse at the end of the month is going to make Scorpio come out of the shadows with their emotions. It's like their deeper emotions are going to need to come up to the surface because it's in Pisces, and Pisces is a water sign, and remember, Scorpio is that fixed ice energy. So it's just they need to let their emotions come up to the surface so they can actually get what they need and get what they want in an emotional in like a way where it's fulfilling for them on that deeper level. I mean, you can stay superficial all you want, but you're never going to be happy, especially for Scorpios. And Mars in Cancer, because Cancer is a water sign with Scorpio, that's going to help them get more in tune with an alignment with allowing those emotions to come up.
Backing that up with the Two of Pentacles, and look at that, the Emperor. It makes perfect sense, right? You have this month, you're going to be encouraged to not only choose for yourself, but prioritize, okay? Because there's a difference, right? We can choose something, but sometimes we don't make the choice right. There's never a right choice, right? It's just about making a choice and committing to it. Sometimes we can make that choice without knowing what it entails, without sort of fully committing to a choice. But this month, you're going to be asked to prioritize really what is more important, what's more fulfilling, what is more abounding for you. And then with the Emperor here, the cards are telling you, stand to your own ground, okay? Stick to your guns, stick to that integrity, stick to that sort of control and authority that you have over your co-creation this month, okay? So don't shy away from the choices and the priorities that you're going to have to make this month. Do them boldly.
This is a message for my Sagittarians. Please remain seated long enough to hear your forecast. Regina, give it to us for our Sagittarians.
Well, the solar eclipse for Sagittarius it was like, where do I want my life to take me? Where can I learn more? It was like activating their sense of, what do I want? And Sagittarius are, remember, they love to travel. They love getting new ideas. They love being inspired for purpose. So that solar eclipse activated that for them. Remember, with with Venus in Libra, that's also like helping them feel really good right now. But again, the Saturn in Aries being again a fire sign, with Sag being a fire sign, it it makes everything more grounded and intentional. So Sagittarians don't always think with intention. They just are like, let's go. And, but it's forcing them to have intention with what do they want? How are they going to communicate? Like, where do I really want my life to look like in a year or 2 years? They have to ask themselves serious questions, but it doesn't have to be heavy, but it's just the heaviness is always going to be in the background for at least the next couple of years while Saturn is in Aries. So
I would definitely encourage that, and I double that. Plain and simple, we have the world. With this card, you're being reminded this month that first and foremost, the universe is always on your side. Remember that, okay? The universe wants the desires of your heart for you more than you even realize that you want them. Okay, step into that state of mind and remember that everything that you want and you need is already yours. You just have to reach out and have it and take it, okay? With that being said, the World card does also represent cycles ending, okay? It represents things coming to an end. So you might be encouraged this month to take that initiative and think about the things that you want to end. It doesn't mean that they're not serving you anymore, but if plain and simple something doesn't feel right any longer, it doesn't have to be something tragic that's happening in your life. If it's something that you can say, you know what, kind of spring cleaning, perfect. Take that time to do that this month.
Capricorns, you can close the spreadsheet for the next 2 minutes. The universe would like a word. Regina, give it to us for our caps.
well, Capricorns are needing balance for giving and receiving this month. Mars goes Mars went into Cancer on the 11th. So that's the opposite of Capricorns. So it could be emotionally reactive for Capricorns because they're needing to find balance between giving and receiving. So Capricorns are usually givers, right? You might not think that when you first think of a Capricorn, but they are actually. They are nurturing just in a different kind of way that you would assume nurturing looks like. Um, but they're going to have to really come to terms with um, how can I receive and give and it be balanced? They're going to have intense conversations, I think, with their partners. Um, the Mars squaring Neptune, again, because Neptune's in Aries, it could be, it could be confusing for them, but they just need to be honest with what they want and how they want to get it because Saturn is in a fire sign and Saturn's a ruling planet, so it it's just uncomfortable for Capricorns, but they they can do it. They just have to be like honest and not just stoic all the time.
That's listen. I think that's beautiful what you said about Capricorns. I think that ultimately they're like the father figure of the zodiac. So they provide a lot of that. This month, I think at the end of the month, you can have such beauty for Capricorns in the sense that you're going to have you can have this potentially at the end of the month of you really stepping into your own domain. However, the cards are saying that can happen if and when you really, really focus on the way that you're communicating things. Communication is coming in big. We have the Page of Swords here and the King of Pentacles. I mean, this is arguably like ultimately like Capricorn energy here, right? But that's you won't be able to get here unless you start off with, and what I'm getting is don't overanalyze the way that you're meant to communicate something. Have more of a childlike approach to the way that you're going to communicate something. So don't analyze, don't make that spreadsheet, don't go into this and this and this and this of how you're feeling. Simply say, I feel sad. I feel bad. I don't feel happy when this happens. What do you think? So step into that more innocent, childlike way of communicating, and I think the end of the month is going to be beautiful for you.
Aquarians, welcome back to Earth for just a moment. Let's see what August has in store for you. Regina?
Well, my 18 to 22 degrees Aquarians are going to probably have felt the most with the solar eclipse. It's sort of like asking them what do they want and how are they going to project that in the next 6 months. And Venus and Libra being another air sign, they're going to have very harmonious relationships and socializing and all of that. Venus, again, it's just in a very happy when it's in Libra, and Aquarius, all the air signs love that too. So with Mars being in Cancer, though, that's uncomfortable for Aquarians because it makes them moody and maybe build up resentment. So they have to be careful not to get too moody because I think everyone's going to be a little moody with Mars and Cancer, and they might be a little snarky. So if somebody snaps at you this month, don't take it personally. It's just Mars being in Cancer. But with Jupiter in Leo, which is the opposite, and Jupiter and Pluto is also Pluto is conjunct the Aquarians. So Aquarians are wanting something deep, and that's going to be going on for a really long time. So just maybe someone new is coming with a deeper connection for you. Be open to it.
I fully agree. I think that someone new is going to come. I think maybe even a new, what I'm getting is like a passion project, right, for you. And it's okay to invest yourself in that. Without, we have the Page of Pentacles here. And then we also have the Four of Swords. You're being reminded to, it's okay to go inward this month and to just rest and have some R&R this month. Be open to making that new connection with somebody else. Okay, be open to endeavoring in something new. Okay, I'm not saying start a business or anything, but what I'm saying is sort of rekindle something that makes you happy inside of yourself, right? And also don't be afraid to take some time away and get some rest going on. Okay, don't listen to maybe a lot of the outside influences of other people's ideas and other people's way of thinking. Sometimes there's seasons for that. There's seasons for us to really rely and absorb from the people in our surroundings. I think for this month, it's gonna be more of like a of an internal kind of thing. Listen to yourself and focus on the things that really fulfill you this month.
I love that. That's a perfect thing to focus on. Speaking of perfect, if I could say there was a perfect sign, I would say it's my bestie. I'm just kidding. Or am I? Pisces, especially my Pisces bestie right there who just finished talking. This one's for you, Regina. What are the stars saying for our beautiful fishes?
Well, they're going to have a good month. The lunar eclipse for them is going to about really emotional revelations. Like they're going to feel it's with the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse. Like the solar eclipse is like a reset. How do you spend your time and energy, and how can it be sustainable? What do you want? Like basically making healthier choices and letting go of the unhealthier choices. Um, with Mars in Cancer, it's going to definitely energize in relationships, because it's a water sign. So they're going to, but Pisces love to swim, right? They're fish. So it's going to be fine for them. It's just about, I think about, are your foundations strong enough? How are you going to reset and replace anything unhealthy that you need to let go of? It's about replacing those with healthier, boundaries, but let's be real, like Pisces and boundaries are, somewhat of a challenge, but it's about, the lunar eclipse is going to be really good for them. It's going to be in their element.
That fully resonates, especially with the cards are saying. They say, "How is your best friend? And you're perfect." So up to the next sign, guys.
And that's it. That's all we have to know about
And that's
Pisces.
it. Bye, guys. No. Here's the thing, Pisces, and that fully resonates, Regina. I've been in communication with other fellow Pisces recently, and the things that they've been sharing, that we've been sharing back and forth, are very much resonant with what you've said, and their cards definitely reflect that. We have the Two of Swords here, right? And again, we have the Six of Pentacles. These two, I think, are a very interesting combo, because you have, on one side, you have, all right, Pisces, you've been putting the blindfold on a little too long. Take it off, okay? It's been a self-imposed kind of like, it's okay, like I'll get to that when I get to that. This is the time. Guess what? Now is the time to get to that, Pisces, okay? And also with that, with the Six of Pentacles, you have, once you've made those decisions, or it could be back and forth, maybe you're going to be in a moment this month where you're realizing, okay, I've been putting into this, but I realize that's not being very fruitful. It's not really being very conducive to what I need. And so now I need to make a decision because of that. I need to make a very strong decision based off of that. Or maybe once you make this decision to sort of end something, then the things are going to align that you're pouring into and taking from. So I'll check back in with you guys next month.
All right, so our Aries. Breathe in.
Well, Aries are going to feel
Breathe
more
out.
confident. They're having some, but Venus is in opposition with their sign. So, they're going to be more protective of their emotional space, but they might be feeling more homey, you know. They have been going through stuff with Saturn being in Aries. It's about really learning boundaries, um, learning how to have a genuine connection and it not just be so impulsive. Their impulsivity is definitely taking a backseat, whether they want to or not. It's just no longer healthy for them to be impatient and doing whatever they want and dealing with the consequences later. Like, that is not going to work for them anymore. Right now, it is time for them to think about it and feel it and then proceed with it. Because, they don't like that. That's just not their jam. And they're going to have to be like that. Otherwise, it's going to wreak havoc because Saturn's just not going to allow them to do that right now. But in the end, it's going to be so much better for them if they just go with the flow of that energy instead of, being stubborn about being impulsive. It's like silly, just let go and let wherever you're meant to be, and let yourself get grounded and find out what you really want and build that foundation.
Building that foundation is going to be so big this month, right? The things that you want in the future. And don't be afraid to do a little bit of that future planning, but it's okay if it starts off internally and emotionally. Build that future that you want. Really envision what you want for yourself, and the rest is going to follow. You have the Ten of Cups. This is the happily ever after card, right? That doesn't mean that you have that right now, but it means that you can shift your focus into that this month. Whereas before, other months you may have been kind of neglecting that energy. Also, you have the Nine of Cups here. So it's very interesting because you have this very sort of like progressive way of emotional growth that's going to happen this month. With the Nine of Cups, though, you are being advised, don't get too smug in a way, okay? Don't get too sort of like, I feel like I have everything kind of figured out. Or it's okay to kind of shift your not integrity per se, but your standards, if you will. Don't get into this mindset of like, well, this is how I've always wanted it and that's exactly how I'm going to have it and nothing can change. Put that aside, Aries. Okay, it's okay to kind of ebb and flow and say, let me reconstruct what I mean by that.
So our next sign is Taurus, and I got a bit of a download to let you guys know the Taurus is change the way you see things, and the things you see will change. Think of it as change isn't happening to you; it's happening for you. All right, Regina, what do we have for our Tauruses?
Well, the solar eclipse is going to help them have stronger boundaries, and they're going to be really asking themselves, like, what do I need to feel safe? Mars in Cancer, that's a sextile, so that's a happy thing, and it's going to help deepen and sharpen their emotions and what are they looking for in that. Um, but Venus is the ruler of Taurus, so Tauruses love the finer things in life. So they're going to be in a very like treat yourself kind of mode this month. Um, I mean, they love it anyway, but this Venus being in the happy place for them is going to make them really want to, indulge in that a little bit. But again, it's just about balance. Just don't overdo it, Tauruses, with all of that indulgence. Be careful.
Definitely don't, because here we have the Three of Swords, and we have the Chariot, right? This doesn't mean you're going to experience heartbreak this month, okay? People always and almost like only associate that with this card. What this card means is, for you, I think this month is going to be um, it's okay to move forward with initiative this month. Okay, it's okay to have a little bit of direction. Sometimes we move through life without knowing where we're going and we just go. Think of more of like the Fool card. The Chariot has that navigation, and the Chariot has that sense of direction. So really embrace that sense of direction of where you want to go this month, and don't overindulge in some things. I think because if you do, you can definitely experience a little bit of a heartache. If you do, you can experience a little bit of disappointment if you do overindulge in things. So remember to have a little bit of navigation and direction this month.
Up next, the Gemini Queen herself, Regina. Tell us, what does August have in store for your people?
Oh, well, again, Uranus being in Gemini, it's just such an intense energy for Geminis, and this is going to be here for a while, so we just like get cozy. Just expect Geminis to be, they're not going to hold back. If you really want to know the truth, they're Geminis, we're on this like flight of, opening up to whatever we're supposed to have, and we're not going to hold back. Venus in Libra, which is lovely with Geminis. All my best friends are Libras. It's like peas and carrots. So it's going to be really harmonious for Geminis, and also Geminis love Leos, so it's just good times. But the solar eclipse for Geminis is really about letting go of the old stuff and really coming into what you want, and like literally putting that old energy to bed, like once and for all. Like you're never going back to that version of yourself. So just enjoy what's coming to you, and don't hold back. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to jump into the deep end, because you will swim. You'll in a triathlon swim. So Geminis are on fire right now.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. I ended up pulling 3 cards for you guys. You have Death, okay? You have the 6 of Pentacles, and you have, of course, Strength card, okay? This month, it has the potential to really give you a huge perspective shift and give you that new beginning in a certain aspect of your life that you've been looking for, okay? It can be a quite transformative month if you embrace that integrity and that courage that you have within yourself. You might have been putting that part of yourself on the back burner recently. This month, you're going to be really encouraged to do so. You're also going to be really encouraged to be open to receiving this month, okay, with the 6 of Pentacles here. Don't be afraid to, yes, ask for whatever you might need from your loved ones and from your circle of people around you, but also be open to receiving it, okay? I love this for you, okay? Really embrace the Leo energy this month with the Strength card here, but also more importantly, really embrace the fact that you have the ability and you have the momentum going here to experience something quite shifting for you. This is one of my favorite cards here, right? Death is just so transformative. Something that's not serving you is ending, and something new is beginning if you choose to step into that this month.
Oh, I don't think Geminis have a choice. That's one thing that, it's happening. You can hold on to that old version of yourself, but it's just not going to fit anymore. So
I love it.
Listen,
it's
the queen
not
has
that.
spoken.
Yes,
The queen.
Absolutely.
It is mind-blowing what Geminis are going through. I mean, it really is.
All right. Well, if you need a Cancer buddy, Geminis, we'll be here for you.
Remember, I have a Cancer moon, so.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And my Mars is in Cancer, so.
She's like, so I don't need anybody.
I know, right? She's like, I'm perfect. I'm just kidding. All right. Well, speaking of perfect, no I'm kidding. Finally, our Cancers, my people. We couldn't let August in without checking back in with our beautiful Cancer family. So hopefully you've had a chance to celebrate your birthday, recharge your heart, and carry some of those lessons from July into this new chapter of August. Regina, what does August have in store for my people? My beautiful Cancers.
Well, you're definitely going to have a little bit emotional reactivity. You're not going to tolerate disrespect this month with Mars being in Cancer. Like, no, ma'am. And it's a good thing because it's giving Cancers strength, like feeling more powerful. You're wanting a deeper connection with yourself and with others, and it's really a confidence building month. Mars will be in Cancer until the end of September. So y'all have this whole time. I would utilize this to like really be protective and honor yourself, and don't take any BS from anybody, because you ain't having it.
That's right. Stop fighting for what's already yours, Cancer. Okay, we have the 7 of Wands here. You've reached where you need to be. I'm not saying you're done in your journey, but you've gotten to such a pivotal place. accept that and stop saying, gosh, I can't wait to get to this point. You're at that point. So stop fighting for what's already yours, okay? With that, we also have temperance, okay? And then we have the Empress here. This is just I was going to say, if you know anything about tarot and if you're listening, this perfectly encompasses what Regina is saying, okay? With the Temperance card, you have so much restoration, you have a lot of balance. The cards also encourage you to practice a little bit of moderation here, okay? So yes, don't overindulge, if you will. Do things with an even-headed sort of view of things. But more importantly, the Temperance is reminding you and it's showing you that restoration and that harmony that you're craving is fully there for you this month, okay? And with the Empress here, some of you might be wanting to start a family. I think this month will be good for that, okay? If you're wanting to sort of get into that, Cancer, if you're looking to maybe, when should we start planning this? When should we start, trying? I think this month will be really good for you. Aside from that, with the Empress, go out in nature this month, Cancer. Be outside, spend some time in nature, and I'm getting to eat a lot of fruit, but everything that Regina said, everything that the cards are showing, I think everything is really, the odds are really in your favor this month, Cancer.
I just get the feeling of like, be in your power.
Be in your power. Yeah.
That's what I get.
It's already yours.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just own it.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys. And there you have it, folks. Your energy forecast for the month of August. Whether you're celebrating Leo season, getting ready for Virgo season, or simply taking the next step on your own journey, we hope this forecast helps you move through the month with a little more awareness, a little more confidence, and a little more intention. If today's episode resonated with you, let us know in the comments which message spoke to you the most. And if you're enjoying these monthly forecasts, don't forget to subscribe, follow the podcast, and leave us a 5-star review. That's right, a 5-star review. It truly helps us continue growing this amazing community.
As always, if this resonates, please take it and may it serve you as guidance for the following month.
And remember, let the stars always be your guide.
There you have it, confirmation from those pups. And remember, love isn't something we chase.
It's something we're built for.